Welcome to Federal Sentencing in Action. Today we're diving deep into how the federal justice system determines punishments for those convicted of crimes. Imagine you've just been convicted of a federal crime. What happens next? How does the justice system decide your punishment? Today, we're taking you inside the courtroom to break down the sentencing process step by step, from conviction to final judgment. Federal sentencing is more than just a judge handing down a number. It's a detailed process designed to balance fairness, accountability, and justice. But how does a case get to sentencing? A conviction can result from a guilty plea where the defendant admits to the crime, or from a trial verdict where a jury or judge finds the defendant guilty. Once the conviction is secured, the focus shifts to the next stage, determining the sentence. At this stage, the defendant has been formally found guilty of a federal crime. Once convicted, the focus shifts to preparing for the sentencing hearing. This is where the key players, the judge, the prosecution, the defense, and even probation officers, come into play. The first major step after a conviction is the creation of a pre-sentencing report, or PSR. This report, prepared by a probation officer, is crucial in shaping the judge's decision. The PSR has two key purposes. First, it calculates the guideline range based on federal sentencing guidelines. Second, it provides a narrative about the defendant's background, including family history, employment, and prior criminal record. This report also includes input from the prosecution, defense, and sometimes even victims. Once completed, both sides have the opportunity to review and challenge the findings. Next comes the sentencing hearing, the moment everyone's been preparing for. In this courtroom session, both the prosecution and the defense present their arguments to the judge. The prosecution may push for a harsher sentence, arguing factors like the severity of the crime or lack of remorse. Meanwhile, the defense will advocate for leniency, highlighting mitigating factors like cooperation or personal circumstances. This is also the defendant's chance to address the court directly. Many defendants use this moment to express remorse or explain their actions in their own words. For example, in a recent drug trafficking case, a defendant cooperated with authorities to dismantle a larger criminal network. The prosecution recommended a reduced sentence based on this cooperation, while the defense emphasized the defendant's lack of prior convictions. Ultimately, the judge issued a sentence at the lower end of the guideline range, highlighting the importance of their assistance. After hearing both sides, it's up to the judge to make the final decision. This isn't just about the guidelines. Judges also weigh the pre-sentencing report, victim impact statements, and mitigating or aggravating factors. Did you know that according to recent statistics, federal judges sentence within the guideline range about 75% of the time? Around 20% of cases see downward departures for factors like cooperation or extraordinary circumstances, while upward departures happen in roughly 5% of cases, often due to aggravating factors. The judge's sentence could include prison time, probation fines, or restitution payments to victims. If the sentence falls outside the guideline range, the judge must provide specific reasons for the departure. The sentencing doesn't always mark the end of the story. Defendants have post-sentencing options, like filing an appeal if they believe there were errors in the process. In some cases, they might also qualify for sentence reductions through cooperation or rehabilitation programs. These options depend on the nature of the case, but they're an important part of the legal process. From conviction to final judgment, federal sentencing is a complex and high-stakes process. It's where justice, fairness, and accountability collide. But what do you think? Does this process strike the right balance, or is there room for improvement? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we uncover more mysteries of the justice system. And remember, in justice, every decision writes a story.